So, what made you want to get in that race car and go as fast as you possibly could with other people who don't want you to ever get in front of them?
Um, I don't know. I mean, mostly it's pretty much. I think a lot of it comes to racing being involved with the family, and obviously, both sides of my parents actually were involved in race. So when I was young, I went to the racetrack. I went to Thompson. I went to Stafford and Riverside, and as I grew up, about when I was 5 or 6 years old, my father, bought a quarter midget, which is where you can race one of those at Silver City or Thompson when you're really young, and my brothers and I, we all shared one race car, and we all just kind of went from there. And it's always been a passion of mine. So that's kind of how that whole deal started. And as I grew up, we kind of started going around the country and racing quarter midgets and karts, and then I was getting up into bigger cars like when you're around the age of 11 or 12, you end up in a 3/4 size sprint car, which is kind of what I was on dirt instead of asphalt. And then I kind of progressed my way onto asphalt in Pennsylvania when I was 13 in a 600cc micro, which was the fastest thing at this track at the time. And a guy came up to me. His name was Billy Schwartz, and asked me how old I was, and I lied to him because I was lying about my age at the time, and he put me in his modified, and that's kind of how I got to where I am right now, and just trying to progress through the ranks.
Um, so, you lied about your age. I assume they figured it out at some point. What happened then?
No, they never really found out. I mean, it's kind of funny. I joke about it. My father was getting me into the Stafford Speedway pits when I was probably 13 years old, so they probably thought I was about 16 or 17 for quite a while. And it's still funny to this day when I see the same guy when I go sign in every single Friday, and he looks at me, and I'm just kind of like, "Yep, I've been coming here since I was 12." So it's pretty fun.
Do you ever find it weird that they let you on a track in a race car that goes faster than the average car, but you had to wait till 16 to get your license?
No, I don't because to believe it or not, there's a lot of kids now that race cars that are well under the age of 16, and you're going way above the speed limit. So it's it's not really out of the normal anymore. It was back when I was probably 12 or 13. I mean, it wasn't really done a lot, but now, I mean, you see it all the time.
Sure, sure. Um, so what are your aspirations at this point?
Right now, hold on. I'm gonna type something on Facebook and tell people if you want to ask a question. If you have a question, message me on Facebook, and I will answer it. Yeah. Okay, I think I should have done this in the beginning. But right now, the aspirations, there's quite a few things going on. But right now, the biggest thing I have going, other than my weekly stuff and my touring stuff, it's the nationwide race we have coming up at Homestead in November with Tommy Baldwin Racing, and I'm pretty excited. There was an article that came out a week ago from Speed 51 that broke it, and also another one that was on motorsports.com, I believe, today. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's a great opportunity. We're still looking for some partners to come aboard to make it a really good effort, but we're really looking forward to it. I can't thank Tommy Baldwin enough. East West Marine, that's out of Long Island, New York, that they do a lot of stuff. You guys should go check them out, eastwestmarine.net. Dunleavy Truck and Trailer Repair, any truck and trailer repair needs in Connecticut or in the Northeast, you should check them out. And obviously Falmouth Ready Mix also. Those are three sponsors we have right now. We're still looking for some more, but I'm really looking forward to Homestead for sure.
So are you getting some questions on your end? I'd be shocked.
I'm getting friend requests, but it's probably gonna be a minute. I mean, everybody, if you're on Facebook, if you're on here right now watching, go to Facebook and
see it being reshared recently. So looks like we have more people watching than speaking.
Yeah, I would say so. I'm gonna guess so.
And we're shared publicly, so they're here somewhere at this point. And if
All right, I have
they
one question that just came in. What is my favorite track? Well, to be honest with you, there's a lot
wanted
of
to ask
racetracks.
questions and maybe they couldn't, maybe we'll post a link at the end where they can ask some questions and you'll
All right, hold on.
their own technical difficulties. So
Yeah, just so you know, if you click the link. Oh, I just had your. I thought you were talking for a minute, but I have a question here. Somebody just sent me a question. It's from T.J. Hewitt from Providence, Rhode Island. Um, he asked, he asked, what is your favorite track? And I imagine you're from the Seekonk area, and Seekonk's not my favorite track, but I would have to say either Bristol, Bristol Motor Speedway, or Riverhead would definitely be two of my favorites, or Monadnock. I mean, I really like every racetrack, but Bristol and Riverhead are definitely two of the ones that stand out to me. Anybody else that go ahead and message me on Facebook. I know we were kind of a late start here, but we'll try and do what we can with this. This is interesting. I got flies flying around in here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it's like there's a little bit of either I don't know if you have it playing twice somewhere or it's doing something. I ended up muting it to make sure that it wasn't like replaying anything.
No, I had something going, but I deleted it, so it should be good now. All right, I have another question. This question's, can you hear me right now? Just making sure.
Yes.
Okay. We have another question. It's from Nick Tito, and he said, what is your goals for the Wheel Modified Tour for the rest of the season? Well, we have 4 races left. One's this Saturday at Riverhead. We have New Hampshire coming up also in a couple weeks. And then we obviously have the Stafford Fall Final and the Thompson World Series. So with that being said, these are 4, I would say, my better tracks. And, Stafford's been a little rough to us this year, but I think we can turn it around. And, there's 4 races, so that's 4 opportunities to win. We're going to see what we can do and see if we can turn the season around. We got another question. See, here we go. We got this going now. Why do you seem so fast compared to guys in the South? Well, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, the car actually, it's pretty funny. I'll pull it up. The car woo, that would have been bad. The car that you see, in the South, that's actually right here. That's my family car that my father and I my father and I maintain, along with a couple of guys that's been with me for a long time, Jerry McCarskey and Mike German, and we have a few other crew members that come and help us. And we just put a lot of time into it. We make sure every time we roll out and go to the races that we're prepared and we have everything we need to do and to win that race. And obviously, you can't do it without sponsors. And like I said before, Dunleavy Truck and Trailer Repair and East West Marine are big supporters of mine, and Mizzy Construction. So it's great to have them aboard, and it's cool to see Eric Bradford just joined into our group chat, and hopefully add some more trophies this weekend here. All right, if anybody else has a question, keep them coming. It's good, Eric, if you wanna talk or chat to us, you can. I don't know if you can see us or not, but apparently people can join, so don't be shy.
So while we're waiting for questions, I'm gonna put it all out there, and I guess you'll know how old I am after I ask this. But when you see movies like Days of Thunder, what does it make you think when the racer doesn't know his car, can't fix it, can't say what's wrong with it?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
Okay, I'm dating myself, but have you ever seen the movie Days of Thunder?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Days of Thunder, I think everybody should. Yes.
Yeah. So what do you think about racers when they don't know a thing about their car and they can't fix it, they can't tell anybody else what's wrong with it? What comes to your mind?
I mean, it's I don't even know. It's kind of like it's hard to explain just because I know when I was younger, my father and I we it just brings me back to a moment when I was sitting on the back of the trailer at New Smyrna in Florida when I was 14, and we had wrecked the night before, and I was just sitting there, and he made me start picking up trash under the trailer because I wasn't doing anything, and ever since then, he just won't let me sit around and do anything. So I've always been one that's worked on my race car, my family's race car, and I've been fortunate enough to have crews like Flamingo Motorsports that have full-time guys, and then on my SK at Stafford, there's Earl Pelletier who works on that car and the entire team, and also my Thompson SK and my Riverhead team. They have crews also, so I don't have to go work on those race cars. But when it comes to my family race car, there's countless amount of hours that go into it, and those are getting done by my father and I, and like I said, those two crew guys that were here yesterday, and also we have another guy that comes and helps us now. But yeah, I don't know. It's unfortunate just because I'd say as you go, if you don't have a crew chief and you're working with just your father and yourself, and you get to these points where you don't show up to the track with a perfect race car, you kind of have to have an idea of what a Panhard car does, what making spring changes or rebound and compression for when you enter the corner, and tire stagger, and just there's so much involved to it, and I would definitely advise kids that are getting into racing that to work on your race cars and to read up and learn, because you really won't get anywhere if you don't understand a race car. We have two questions. What do you think of the finish at New Hampshire in that All-Star race? I'm sure if I won it, I would have thought it was great, but we just unfortunately I ended up running out of time and not being in the right lane, so I thought it was great that Whelen and New Hampshire came together to put this deal on, and Town Fair Tire and everybody. So it was definitely interesting. I wish I could have another shot at it. So I'm lucky enough to have that in a couple weeks. And we also have another question from Mark Fredetti. Is there a big difference in driving styles between the open wheel cars and the full bodied cars like your TVR ride? To be honest with you, a lot of people used to talk about full fendered cars about having a lot of roll, like body roll in them, which when the first time I ever got in that Nationwide car, the first laps I took, I was kind of expecting it, and they set up these full body cars now is they call them platforms where they want the cars to sit as flat as possible on the racetrack, which if you think about it, when it sits flat on the racetrack, you're taking away body roll. So these cars actually feel more like they don't handle like a go-kart, but they feel stiff like a go-kart. And the difference between a modified, which is like, and a nationwide car is, they're heavier cars, nationwide cars, so you don't quite roll through the corners like you would with these tires, with these cars that have twice as much rubber and all that. But they definitely have a little bit of power and a little bit of aerodynamics on their side, so it makes it, it counterbalances things.
So I have another question here from some of the people who are watching us from Google Plus right now. It's you gonna come race with us little guys over at OTK this winter from Go-Kart Mozart?
Yeah, I'll be at On Track a few times this winter. I'm sure I'll be there to race with you guys, and we'll have to go over to Brookfield and the On Track. When he says OTK, he means On Track Karting. So they have a location in Wallingford and in Brookfield. So it's I'm definitely looking forward to that. Anybody else have any questions? Go ahead and message me on Facebook. Seems like that's working good.
So while we're waiting for them, I'm going to ask you another question, just keep things kind of going along. So when your girlfriend gets in the car with you, is she like, okay, now just drive nice, or how does that go?
I think I understood you. If you were asking me about if my girlfriend freaks out when I'm driving, and it probably depends on the day and what mood I'm in. If I'm in the mood where I'm going to be not the safest driver on the road, but I always drive the speed limit, I would say she freaks out a little bit. But I'm usually pretty cautious, so not too much. Although she'll probably say different.
Yeah, it's a little bit different from the other seat, but it's good to hear you're not drag racing down the street. There could be some unfortunate consequences to that one.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I don't think anybody should drag race, but I do think they should go buy wheels from Town for a Tire.
We would be very, very happy if they did that. But they should also come watch you race, so.
Yes, they could. Anybody else that has questions, go ahead, go to Facebook. I'm probably lighting up Have At It Riverhead right now because I know this has a lot of people going on it right now. So, if you have any questions at all, we'll answer them. Do you have any people signed in on your end?
I don't see anybody right now. They kind of came and left. I think that they're watching. They're just not signed into the chat.
Okay, yeah, the YouTube. Yep.
So why don't we do a couple more questions, see if anybody else has any questions, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. All right, if anybody else has any more questions, this is the time to ask.
Okay, so what is your all-time favorite car? Any car made ever?
So we're talking production cars right now?
It doesn't have to be a production car. It can be one of a kind. It could be a concept car.
Oh yeah, but what I meant is not a race car, not a race car that I've driven. But I would probably have to say a GTR, Nissan Skyline GTR. Those are really nice cars. I was actually fortunate enough to drive one when I was up at Thompson about a month ago, or a little over a month ago, and it was a pretty sweet ride. We have another question.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Actually, it was a request from Nick Tito to talk. Oh, we have a couple questions that just came in. I have a lot of questions coming in. All right, these are wise questions. Here we go. All right, the first one I'm going to answer is Rob Hoekstra, the 51 Bonsignor crew. Question will be, will the 51 win both titles? Will you get me an XL shirt? Tough question. Okay. I actually have a lot of questions that just came in. All right, Rob. Well, that depends. Are you going to boo me at Stafford again? And I'm sure I can get you a shirt, but you're going to have to leave this Justin Bonsignor stuff at home, and if he can win both titles, I like Justin a lot. He's a funny guy, and I wish nothing but the best for him. I hope he wins the MRS title, but I still have 4 more chances to try and beat him in the tour, even though it's going to be hard, but I think I could still pull it off. We have another question from TJ. What did you think? Oh, wait, no, that's the same question. Okay. And then we got Nick. He wants me to talk about Rowan's hot streak and maintaining the point lead over Ted Christopher. Well, I think we almost beat Rowan this past week. We had a really good car. I can't thank Earl and Mike Paquette enough, and all my sponsors at Stafford that consists of Mizzy Construction, Canton Auto Supply of Canton and Connecticut, Sullivan and Sons, the Poolins for this awesome Pettit Power, the Pettit racing engine I have, Sean Weddell Communications, Earl Pelletier Concrete, and Gunsmoke Stables. Everybody involved in that whole number 2 team, and we have a strong car. It's like I've told everybody. Every time we're on the racetrack, except for maybe once or twice this season, we've had a car that can win the race. We've been running top 2. I was a little bit greedy early on in the season. Well, probably in the middle part of the season, because at the time I was pretty much planning on racing Richmond, and I was trying to get as much of a point lead as I possibly could on Teddy. So I was being real greedy. But right now, I'm going to finish these last 3 races, hopefully hold the point lead on Ted, and just keep trying to win races and be as consistent as I possibly can. There's flies all over the place here. All right, if anybody else has a question, you can go ahead and ask. But I think we might, just so you know, my battery in my laptop's running dead. So I only have about 7 minutes of battery, it says.
All right. So we're going to assume it's a little less than that, because I know mine always shuts off before I hit the 7. I always push it. So is there anything else you wanted to tell everybody? Anything you want them to know about upcoming events or anything like that? How to get in touch with you?
Yeah, I mean, just everybody, thanks for coming on here. We'll have to do this again because we kind of figured it out probably about 30 minutes ago into this whole deal. And, if anybody, is looking for sponsoring a nationwide car, you can email me at troyer40@gmail.com. Or if you're wondering what's going on for me this week, maybe I'll pull something. I'll start doing something maybe once every 2 weeks or maybe once a week where I'll give everybody an update. But this week, real quick, I'm going to Chicago for the NASCAR Next program on Wednesday. I'll be flying in on Friday at 1 o'clock and going straight over to Stafford Speedway to race my SK Modified there. And then I'll be lucky enough to be racing the number 16 Flamingo Motorsports car, East West Marine, at Riverhead Raceway on Saturday. And then we're going to make the 8-hour drive over to Oswego Speedway up in upstate New York for the Race of Champions with the black number 41 right here. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great weekend, and we're going to see if we can pull off some wins this weekend.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you for everything, and especially your patience. Why don't we maybe schedule another one now that we have it all figured out? After one of your next races, you can just message me, and you have my email. And of course, I'd love to come out and watch you. I have to convince my kids that I can leave them for long enough to actually come down to the track. They're not big fans of loud cars, not anything like mom. So
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for having me on.
thank you. Bye bye.